Have you ever walked into a place and just felt a shift, a sudden unspoken wrongness in the air? Today, we're going to explore the quiet science behind that very feeling.
So I want you to picture this for a second. You're stepping into an old, empty building, maybe walking down a silent hallway, or entering a quiet part of the woods. And the world outside just seems to fade away. And then it hits you, a sudden change in the atmosphere. It's a feeling that's, well, it's really hard to put into words, isn't it? But you know it. You feel it instantly. And the weirdest part is, logically, there's absolutely nothing wrong. It's completely silent. There's no obvious danger. You should feel safe. But your body, your gut, it's telling you something else entirely. And that feeling, it doesn't just go away. It lingers. It's almost like this invisible pressure, a kind of weight in the air. This is what we're talking about when we say a place feels heavy.
Now, it's important to note this isn't just some random fleeting emotion. It's a shared human experience, something reported across different cultures in strikingly similar ways. People all over the world describe it as a sudden spike in anxiety, or a sense of emotional weight pressing down on them, or just a deep, profound unease that has no obvious cause. If any of that sounds familiar, you are absolutely not alone. And here's where it gets really interesting. This feeling, it isn't just in your head. Science is showing us that it's a very real response, triggered by actual physical factors in our environment that are interacting directly with our brains. So where do we even start to look for answers? Well, our first clue is hidden in something that's all around us, but we can't consciously perceive it. I'm talking about a sound that we literally cannot hear. It's called infrasound. Think of them as sound waves that are vibrating at a frequency so low that our eardrums just don't register them. But here's the thing. Just because you can't hear them, that doesn't mean they aren't there. Your body can still feel those vibrations. And get this, research has directly linked exposure to infrasound with feelings of anxiety, dizziness, and even a powerful sense of dread. It makes a certain kind of sense, right? Your body is sensing a vibration that your mind can't place, and so your whole system just goes on high alert. So, where does this stuff even come from? Well, the unique architecture of old buildings, the long, hollow shape of tunnels, or even just the wind rushing over a large open landscape can create these low-frequency waves, turning a place that looks perfectly peaceful into a source of deep, unexplained discomfort. Okay, so infrasound is one piece of the puzzle, but it's really only part of the story. There's another invisible force at play that we need to talk about, one that guides everything from compasses to migrating birds, the Earth's magnetic field. Now, most of the time, this field is pretty stable, but in certain places, you get what are called magnetic anomalies. These are just areas where the field gets, well, a little weird. It fluctuates, and some studies suggest these disruptions can subtly interfere with the tiny electrical signals in our brains, which could affect our mood and perception. This could be why some remote forests or ancient ruins, places that people have always described as having a strange feeling, have that effect on us. It might not be a ghost story. It could literally be geology interacting with your biology. So we've talked about these external forces, but what about what's going on inside our own minds? Because sometimes that heavy feeling doesn't come from something that's there. It comes from what our brain expects to find, but doesn't. You see, our brains are basically incredible pattern detection machines. It's one of the main things they do. So when you walk into a space that was built for human activity, like a school or an office or a train station, your brain has a built-in expectation. It expects the patterns of life, sound, movement, activity. But when it finds only total silence and complete stillness, that pattern is broken. That heavy feeling, that can be the profound mental friction of absence. It's the deafening sound of silence in a place that's supposed to be loud. Your brain is, in a way, reacting to a void. So we've got unheard sounds, invisible fields, and these psychological echoes. But the really big question is, why? Why do we even have these reactions at all? Well, the answer seems to be rooted deep, deep in our evolutionary past. And the first thing we really have to understand is this. Feeling this kind of unease is not a flaw. It's not a sign that you're overly sensitive or easily frightened. It's survival, plain and simple. It's one of the oldest and most fundamental instincts hardwired into the human brain. Think of it like a constant subconscious safety scan that's always running in the background. Your brain is forever processing the environment, looking for patterns. And when it detects something that's just off, a low-frequency vibration, a broken visual pattern, it can't send you a detailed report. Instead, it sends a primal warning. And that warning comes in the form of an emotion. That heavy feeling, that is your ancient mind telling your modern self to pay attention. So when it comes down to it, these heavy spaces aren't necessarily haunted or cursed. They are something much more fascinating. They're places where invisible forces, subtle signals, and our own ancient instincts all converge. And once you understand this, you'll never really experience these places the same way again. The next time you walk into a room and you feel that weight, maybe you won't feel fear. Maybe, instead, you'll feel a sense of curiosity and a deeper connection to the invisible world around you and the ancient brain within you. If you enjoy deep explorations into the science behind our own experiences, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for joining us.